Hey, it's your girl JLove81. What's going on today? I am doing a response video to Nefarious Wes, who I'm representing today. The top 3 games that I did not grow up with. So let's get started. I did not grow up with a Sega Genesis. I always was Team Nintendo until I got a lot older where I could buy my own consoles. And now I learned to appreciate the Sega Genesis very much. I love the games for it. And the first time I played Six Pack, the very first time I played Streets of Rage, that is one of my favorite games of all times on the Sega Genesis. I did not grow up with a Sega Genesis. I grew up with an SNES. So I was always Team Nintendo. Although I used to go to friends or a relative's house to play it, I really never was introduced to Streets of Rage until maybe about a year ago, when I started collecting heavily for the Sega Genesis. And let me tell you, I am so glad. I really wish I would have had a Sega Genesis, but the beauty of being an adult now is being able to buy your own stuff and play games that you didn't get to appreciate as a kid. And this game is definitely number 1 on my list. This is pretty much a side-scrolling beat-em-up game, which is my favorite. You have 3 main characters that you can choose from, 3 former police officers, Axel, Blaze, and Adam, and you must fight crime throughout the city until you face the evil mastermind, Mr. X. I definitely can't wait for Streets of Rage 4 and highly recommend this series to anyone who has not played it. My second favorite game that I did not grow up with is Super Castlevania 4 on the Super Nintendo. I never owned this game. I actually only grew up with Simon's Quest on the NES. I just got the first Castlevania a few weeks ago, and the third, Dracula's Curse, only a few months ago, let alone Super Castlevania 4. I fell in love with this game the minute I started playing it and really wish that I got this game as a kid. I would have had so much more time to enjoy it. I missed out all these years. So this pretty much is a platform game originally released in 1991, and once again you play as Simon Belmont and must defeat Dracula. The beauty of this community and being an adult is getting to play games you didn't have as a child, or learning about games that you had no idea existed. Being that I discovered this game only less than a year ago, I definitely would add it to my top 10 favorite Super Nintendo games of all times. And my last game that I did not grow up with, that I really love, is Super Adventure Island. We can thank Solid Nate for getting me into the Adventure Island series. I love the one for the NES, and I love this one even better on the Super Nintendo. I did not discover the Adventure Island series until maybe about a year ago. And this game in particular, I only started playing a few weeks ago. And once again, I fell in love with it, and it definitely would make my top 10 Super Nintendo games of all times. It is extremely addicting, just like the very first Adventure Island on the NES that I discovered about a year ago, thanks to my boy Solid Nate, who did a no death run on his channel, so please check him out. This game pretty much is a side-scrolling platform game originally released for the SNES in 1992. You are Master Higgins and have to rescue your girlfriend Tina, whom was turned into a stone statue by the evil sorcerer Dark Cloak. You must travel through 5 stages with 4 areas each to defeat Dark Cloak and save the lovely Tina. My favorite part is actually the soundtrack, which is totally 90s. I recommend this game to anybody that has not played it. Well guys, that was my top 3 games that I did not grow up with. So once again, I want to thank Nefarious Wes for allowing us to do this with him. And let me know what games that you've played that you did not grow up with that you really enjoy, just like me. So thanks again for joining me, and make sure you hit the like button, please subscribe, and I'll see you guys later.